Hello, Professor Bright here. Welcome back to the Sunless Skies Early Access, where last episode, well, we saw where London is keeping Prince Albert's body, and as a consequence, we saw the corpse of the sun that they killed, and learned how they killed it. It was the unclear bomb, which, as I recall, was at the bottom of the Sunless Sea, so that just raises a bunch of other questions. Now, between episodes, I decided to grab 2 more fuel just because, here's the thing. If my crew goes insane, it doesn't bother me that much. Kinda. But if we run out of fuel, that's a big, serious problem. And, well, we're just gonna go out and explore. Ideally, I'm hoping to find the Clockwork Sun, because we saw how they killed the sun that used to, live in Albion. And I'm curious how they've tried to replace the sun's functions. Because, here's the thing. The sun that they killed, it probably was generating law and, keeping time and everything else stable in this area. And I remember the Dawn Machine, which was, basically London's attempt at making an artificial judgment. I'm going to use the term judgment and sun interchangeably. But yeah, that's kinda an issue. What? Excuse me, sir, that's quite rude. Ooh. Yeah, ramming you. How do you like that? Not very much, I suspect. Well, we defeated a Reach Marauder. The raiders have gone down in smoke. You stand over the wreckage, poised to take what you will. Behind you, someone's humming a song of victory. I suppose it was a victory of sorts. Loot the hold, some of it's even intact. A clasped jewelry box. Something precious has been concealed. Ooh. The box is entirely empty of all precious trinkets. What it does contain, however, is a stuffed and preserved corpse, which slides nearly out of a concealed compartment. Once the screaming has stopped, it's determined that it might attract a certain sort of buyer. Neat. So we have a corpse on board. That's lovely. Oh, nope. Really, you didn't find anything of interest in this area? I find that suspicious. Huh. And these are all houses, right? Not graves. Yeah, they appear to be houses. Interesting, so they've actually, colonized a lot of the Reach. Well, I say the Reach, no. They've colonized quite a bit of Albion. But still, how are they dealing with the absence of law? And I was interrupted by another one of these guys, really? No, not gonna bother with you right now, sir. But no, I was talking about the Dawn Machine, and it was, basically an early attempt to replace the sun with an artificial sun, and it turned out to be a hateful monstrosity that wanted it. Well, it's not clear exactly what it wanted to do, but it talked about how it wanted to end time and break the chain being the chain of being, which is sort of how life is organized, more or less. I'm not clear on the details, it's been a while since I actually read the stories, but yeah, suffice to say it was not a good thing. That lag. It implies I found something. I know I just sent him out, but damn it. Okay. That's fine. Real quick. Let's look. Okay, so I've kind of explored some stuff in the south. Let's go northeast and see what we run into. I can always kill one of those for hull, but supplies are more what I'm worried about right now. He says. Can't tell if you're a smudge on my monitor or... No, you're an actual thing, it appears. Possibly. Oh well. Unimportant. Moving right along. A little bit more before I send out the bat again. I do hate to waste it, but I still don't have a good idea of how far the range is on him. You know what? Actually, does it tell me? Its opinion is clear. Go out there? In this weather? Thank you, but no. Well, too bad. Perhaps I should have spent that extra sovereigns on... Yes, on supplies. Good call me. Alright, let's see what that is. Heading northwest to see what we got here. I'd be curious if this is the sun, though, because... Well, I suppose you would keep it far away from London, although you need to keep it supplied with Londoners to, you know, maintain it. So I'm not sure exactly what we're running into. Except that there's a lot of smoke. Wouldn't mind calling out Whirlbury, a crewman declares. Won 2 bob at the hookah rat stall there once. Oh, it's a carnival! Neat. It's like a little boardwalk thing. What? Someone just hit me? Huh. Warbury Juxtamare. Where is your dock, sir? A little bit to the north. I am curious. Let's see what we got here. Huh. Explain yourself. Workers in neat uniforms guide your locomotive to rest. Tourist engines rest alongside trading engines. Crews trade gossip and delicacies. Signs in block capitals make abundantly clear that this is a place for pleasure. Welcome to Warlbury Juxtamare. Warlbury Juxtamare dazzles like a Fabergé egg, lamplit, rich brass, and Britain in Baroque. Warlbury Juxtamare dazzles... In the distance, carnival music mixes with faint cheering. A queue twists and snarls along the dock. Visitors are not allowed to just stroll into the port, they must be admitted. Every fortnight, the Bureau of Entertainment holds a lottery to give out a number of paupers passes, which grant free admittance. The queue for these is long, but it's not the only way into the port. I have several questions. Properly cage your unidentifiable squirmings? Fishers waiting for access to Warlbury Beach have set up rods along the dock. They know all about caging unruly sorts. What? Okay, well, we'll worry about that later. Bypass the queue at the insistence of the authorities. A fox-jawed man, smartly dressed in cobalt, takes notice of you. He crooks a finger. First time visiting Warlbury Juxtamare, eh? Come on, come over then. The representative of the Bureau of Entertainments introduces himself. We are a department of the Ministry of Public Decency, but we're entirely autonomous. We run this port for the benefit of weary travelers. He leads you past a queue that doesn't even bother to grumble. Yes, I know, queue jumping is terribly uncouth, but would you really rather be mingling with the proletariat when you could be enjoying our port? I'm sure once you've seen what we have to offer, you'll need to come back again. He leads you to a fitting station. Everyone goes through this. There's a dress code. Interesting. The Bureau of Entertainment wishes to encourage industrious captains to patronize the port. To this end, on a captain's first visit, they're allowed in both without charge and without having to queue. The couturier is exquisitely attired. Burgundy tailcoat, cravat, brocaded vest in iron and ink, breeches, boots, and a smile like a shark. Periodically, he checks a brass pocket watch, while his grin lengthens and diminishes in turns. He is here to supervise the attire of new visitors to the port. In Whirlbury, everyone dresses up in the heady styles of 50 years ago. The Bureau of Entertainment provides suitable attire for all visitors. Curious. What article of clothing are you going to base your choice of outfit around? The courtier flicks a glance at you. I'm sure you know the spiel, but I'm obliged to repeat it. In a droll voice, the courtier, who could be anywhere between 17 and 39, explains, Warlbury Juxtamare is the perfect holiday destination, enhanced by visitor adherence to the dress code. Do not fear, it is all to enhance the experience you have while with us. In addition, and as a reassurance about the stringless nature of our generosity, I should inform you, the mists are corrosive and will eat through your regular garments. We provide access to a full wardrobe of coats, waistcoats, frock coats, dresses, dress shirts, breeches, boots, bustiers, and more to ensure your own remain intact. We love to see familiar faces, it won't do to put you off. Now pick one item, and I'll choose you an outfit that suits it. A finely tailored coat. Draped across an army of smiling porcelain mannequins is an armament of coats in every size, all sumptuously designed, all perfect, just like you. Or a hat. What a dizzying cornucopia of grotesquely perfect millinery. London would weep in envy. Or a dress shirt, why not both? Awaiting your attention are armoires heaving with lace and leather, silk and cashmere, everything that had ever elicited the envy of another. Coat sounds good. I mean, apparently it's very misty and the mist will eat clothing, which has me concerned, but sure. Oh, there were options beyond that. Oh well. The courtier calls two women from a door you hadn't realized was there. They are tall with the bluest eyes, sinewy and sepia-skinned. As before, as always, my assistants will do everything they can for you, Archivist. The women are efficient but impersonal, their attention bereft of interest. Whenever you attempt to don something that doesn't quite fit your ensemble, they remove the offending garment and replace it with an inventory of superior options. When you finally dismiss the women, the courtier considers you for a long moment. He turns to a wardrobe and hands you several garments, all your size. Once you're dressed, he dismisses you, shooing you into Whirlberry Juxtamare. The condition of your clothes will limit your time in Whirlberry. Intriguing. Alright, World Juxtamare is precisely like every other weekend destination. Shabbier than advertised and bristling with ways to spend more money than intended. Sounds about right. Write a port report first. Those who are anybody and those who are nobody come here to relax. The port's comings and goings could be informative. In the face of candy floss, guards are let down. Presented with this much tea, defenses are dropped. This should have been a good place to gather information. Unfortunately, the screams of the donkeys render eavesdropping impossible. Still, even by itself, a list of visitors is certainly worth something. Alright, now for the actual exploration part of this job. Interesting. Affiliation Boheme. In order to get to an exclusive exhibition of portraits. Okay. You know what? Yeah, let's go to the beach. No trip to Whirlberry is complete without a jaunt along the beach. You should stroll down to the shore where the mists wait in glittering coils. Curious. This is a beach. Of course it's a beach. What else could it be? It's a stretch of pale particulates and rolling mists. The air smells of salt and things that mummified in the sun, of cinnamon and licorice. It is pebbles and grains of blue glass, tendrils of something curious and organic, worm-like growths tufting through the sediment. This is exactly what beaches are. I have several questions. Walk down the beach. You promenade down the palish sand. Be careful where you step because there are curious organic worm-like growths tufting through the sediment. This is not a beach. But sure, why not? Flying fish, how fortuitous. No, wait, these are something else. Flesh molded into the shape of fish, with keratin scales, gills of human hair. The bodies flop onto the shore, twitching for a moment before they go still. The longer you spend in Whirlberry Juxtamare, the easier it is to spot the flaws of the facade. There, another detail not quite right. They said this was the Department of Public Decency, Ministry of Public Decency, right? Ooh. Wonder, what makes the jaunt so disconcerting? A smell billows from the undulating fog, something familiar, something terrifying. It's hard to miss the pheromone now that you've spent so much time on the beach. Scintilla of ultramarine light tangle like strands of long hair, or the tendrils of something massive. They are beckoning you. Something is beckoning you. This is perfectly normal. This is precisely how beaches are. We now have a caged catch, a sky story, and a tale of terror. Interesting. Okay. Return to the arcade. You lazily wander back towards the arcade, your clothes soaked from proximity to the mists. Well, let's explore a tiny lane bedecked with shops. A babble of shops and stalls sear the gaze with bold, mismatched colors. Clothes are fading and tattered. They will not remain suitable attire much longer. Unfortunate. The barber smiles at you with too many teeth. Shaven and Nick, he asks. Though shop is lushly appointed, crushed velvet, and a decadently papal aesthetic, it is conspicuously empty. He notes your glance and, crestfallen, offers to sell you a story instead. Oh. I wanted to go there. Oh well. No trip to Warlburg is complete without a donkey ride. A man in a candy-striped suit bellows, while his donkey drills a string of iridescent tumors. How can you resist? You know what? Sure. Thanks to your ducky's multitude of taloned legs, you find yourself enjoying an unusually scenic ride along the shore. Who knew that donkeys were such expert climbers? You return to the paddock of nervous customers, intact and only moderately traumatized. I'm sorry, that's not a donkey. Ruminate on the nature of donkeys. They are very earthy animals, but where has their ordure gone? The extraneous entrails they'd shed, the vomit, none of it is ever anywhere to be found. I'm sorry, what? Failure. For all the sounds that the donkeys make, for all the viscera they disgorge, all the creatures they disembowel, they seem to be remarkably sanitary creatures. No trace of their refuse is to be seen anywhere. The beach remains spotless. The workers must be terribly efficient. It's time to be elsewhere, you say. Well, that's fine. Cold frisons down your spine, dragging your attention southwards. Oh dear, your clothes are in tatters. Your beautiful garments are nothing but rags now. Well-dressed onlookers gawk and giggle, whisper and point. You look bedraggled, shabby, and worst of all, unfashionable. I'm going to go ahead and inquire about the lottery. There is no indication as to when it will be held next. Is it at the whim of the port authorities? The queue snakes across the lip of the docks like an umbilical cord or garland. Scalpers bark temptations promising expedited access. Vendors patrol the undulations of the line, offering drinks, snacks, anything to spare the mind from the doldrums. Finally, a woman in tattered mourning attire answers. It's every fortnight, more or less. You want to be near the front. They only give out a few passes, don't want to dilute the quality of the clientele, I hear. It appears you'll have to come back later, if you want to get in via the pauper's pass. Or... The rich claim their willingness to pay is because their time is expensive. It's definitely not that this is an opportunity to flaunt their wealth. Okay, otherwise I could... Nostalgic crockery. Okay, or... 2 uncanny specimens. And that's it. Okay. Okay, that's reasonable. I mean, this place has a lot of problems. But, yeah. This is fine, I guess, after a fashion. Oof. I don't know. I need to know. Like, if we go out a little bit more, can we see these beaches? Can we see what lies in the mists? I'm curious now. Because it sounds a lot like something is being fed these people. I don't know what exactly the Ministry of Public Decency is doing about all this. Maybe it's to the right. I see that pipe there. Are they liquefying the people somehow? Or, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the gain is here. Oh, hi, giant machine. Huh. Yeah, let's send the bat out real quick, because I am curious. Ooh, what did we find up there? That port was odd, though. Like, clearly alien creatures that they are just saying, yeah, it's a donkey. It's a donkey. Yeah, sure. Except for the part where it has talons and apparently just eviscerates creatures. And just, I am so very curious. Why is the Ministry of Public Decency doing this? Also, that beach was not a beach. And there's clearly some kind of monstrosity living in the mists there. Huh. So curious. So curious, but we must press on. To elsewhere. To other things. Apparently something that contains land? Oddly enough. Oh, no, there we go. There's some... Oh! You steam before the grand glass eye of an observatory telescope. Presumably behind it, an angry astronomer is gesturing at you to get out of the damn way. You look like... I assume the breadbasket of Albion. Rochester Club. The Royal Society. Even better. I am so very curious. Yep. Doing good, doing good. Doing God's work there. Okay. The airy, pretty mansions of stone and glass rise above the verdant gardens, while below, machines whir and groan. A persistent sound of hammering pounds through the airs. The words nullius in verba are written across the stonework above the great bronzewood doors. Her renewed majesty has granted these grounds to the finest minds in Albion to work here. Their purview is to invent, to hypothesize, to discover, and most crucially, to watch the stars. Introduce yourself at Airy House. The Royal Society welcomes careful captains. The mellifluous president greets you. He directs your attention to the new marble on the floors, to the cheerful portraits of distinguished Royal Society members lining the hallway, and finally to the very large portrait of himself in his plush library. We do like captains here at the Royal S. We need our space and, frankly, our comforts to think. But it is you brave souls who do the real legwork. Extremely educational, if not, our gardens are extremely fine, as is our conversation and the port. If you say so. Write our port report first, of course. Someone will be interested in what they're getting up to here. The Royal Society hums with activities. The preparations for a new ring of Airy House are in motion. The mellifluous president is convening another committee to continue the renovations of the gardens. The astronomers are excited about a star of burnished amber seen far to the east. The Rochester Club, regrettably, continues at high speeds. Regrettably, you say? Who are they? Visit this mellifluous president. He intimated, there might be work for industrious skyfarers. Hello, Captain, do come in, come in. The mellifluous president steeples his fingers. On his desk, metal suns suspended from silver frames clack in the breeze. Now, are you here about work, or do you consider the term vulgar as well? I send reports back to London periodically, but we can't be everywhere. So much to do, so little time. Places of particular solar activity will do nicely. Oh. Ooh. Well, hello. And he reports on the Clockwork Sun and the House of Rods and Chains, and Palmer and Plenty's Inconceivable Circus, which, if I recall, that was back in the Reach. Acquire an invitation to Perdurance. A small stack of invitations to the Half-Light Mask are impaled on a paper spike on his desk. He won't say why he has them, but he will part with one if you can tell him something about the sky he doesn't know, and I do have some stories. So why not? Good lord, really? Well, well, he hands over one of the invitations. The card is elegantly embossed, inscribed with a gold, liquid script. The puncture mark from his paper spike seems like an appalling blemish. Cheerio. Well, let's wander these gardens, why not? The Royal Society have left their gardens to run wild, though an attempt was made at some point to tame them. The gardens were an early attempt by the Society to stamp their mark upon the sky. More interesting avenues for scientific exploration quickly presented themselves, however, and the gardens were left to run wild, half-tamed. The overgrown gardens are beautiful but hazardous to the casual walker. You, however, are a veteran rambler. The ha-ha is no obstacle to your fearless tread. The follies neither deceive nor divert you from your path, and you can tell from a mile off the bog is a bad idea. You find yourself in a pleasant, faux classical temple dedicated to the suns. Someone has left something behind. Interesting. What could it be? A sheaf of papers, crisp as freshly ironed shirts. Ooh. Oh. New money. Violet notes printed in London displaying Victoria seated at her throne of hours on the face, and the HML Parsifal, the first London locomotive to fare the skies, on the reverse. Neat. I will take that. Tell me about, Nell's Tower, though. The Royal Society's observatory is named for King Charles's canniest mistress. Nell's Tower is the jewel in the Society's crown. A sign on the door in neat copperplate reads, Nell's Tower closed for the 13th annual Airy Dinner. Leave urgent business at doorstep. There's a polite cough at your shoulder. Turning, you see a tall man with a beard like a nest of vipers. The supercilious bursar introduces himself. Came to round up stragglers, but as a captain you are of rank sufficient to attend the dinner, if you wish to attend. Sure. There's apparently going to be port. Ooh. The dinner is held in the mahogany and marble imperial dining room of Airy House. Every piece of the dinner service is mismatched, and both the furniture and the personages in the room are pleasantly rumpled. The supercilious bursar brings you to the high table, where the 3 senior astronomers of Nell's Tower are holding court. You're introduced to the senatorial professor, the chair for the effulgent sciences, and the lecturer for imperial affairs as the first course is served. Dine on the game pie. It's ample and succulent. Its flesh lightly roasted. What kind of flesh? Oh, the meat is rich as the Burgundy reach wines popular in the salons of London these days. It's been cooked in its own juices. Now the flesh is as tender as the reassurances of one of Magdalene's attendants. Cantankerous, don't you know, the lecturer in imperial affairs remarks, slicing into her own portion. The first course ends with a great smacking of lips and a general feeling of goodwill towards the chef. Extra supplies, delightful. The supercilious bursar passes the dish of buttered potatoes with an oily smile. The conversation continues, lubricated by Herculean quantities of port. Buttered potatoes, roast squirmings, and sautéed Hybrian mushrooms are devoured in between rhetorical thrusts. Hybrian mushrooms? You might not want to... well, I guess you guys are already eating them. Let's see. The effulgent sciences, I'm curious. Her eyes are wild. She's savaged the potatoes. Her conversation rambles, but her language is poetry. She interrupts you repeatedly to make this point or that. At first, these feel like random interjections, but by the end, she's refuting points you made at the start of the course and anticipating your jokes with wild-eyed delight. I've always been in love with the heavens, is all the biography you get from her, however. The second course ends with a lecturer in imperial affairs telling a rather ribald joke, and a hearty toast to the continued health of all present. The third course arrives. I have several questions. Sherbet produced in London's sweet shops, sponge cake from the Admiral Nelson on Port Prosper, clotted cream and actual strawberries grown in the gardens, more port. The conversation grows looser, the stories more risque. The supercilious bursar leans in conspiratorially. I arrange these dinners to promote unity, you understand, and of course, for the good memory of our previous president, who nobly argued for the introduction of the society to the wilderness, and convinced Her Majesty of our utility. She toasts the large portrait of Airy that dominates the room. So, I assume Airy refers to Airy House, although it could very well be a person. But yes, she's drawing something on the napkin? What? Are those limbs? Rays? She smiles widely. Something I saw last time I was permitted to use our great scope. Honestly, what's the point if we have to ask permission every time we move it? Did Isaac Newton need King Charlie's permission to discover gravity? The third course comes to a close with a great groaning, and heartfelt but false protestations that one couldn't possibly manage cheese and biscuits after all this. Being patronized. The supercilious bursar leans in as the plates are cleared away. Before we adjourn, there is the question of patronage to consider. All eyes are on you. A hush falls over the table. The 3 faces of the astronomers are turned to you. The supercilious bursar continues as though nothing has changed. Our telescope is operated only by the will of the government. We're not allowed to move the telescope without permission. A bold skyfarer such as yourself might obtain such permission, or at least an official-looking document that could be conceivably construed as permission. Our astronomers would be very much interested in patronizing you. You bring them a permit, they can advance their researches. In exchange, they'll teach you what they know, and I am very curious about this one. She appears to have seen a judgment, judging by what she saw, or drew, rather. The wild-eyed astronomer specializing in the habits of the stars will be your patron, absolutely. She lets out a high laugh, wild as the shrieks of the bat-winged curators that ride the celestial winds. I'll show you such things, Captain. Come to the tower, do, and make sure you have a permit. I will. Curious, though. Oh my yes. Here, astronomers turn the vast steel telescope to the heavens and report on the movements of the stars. London is keenly interested in their findings. Observe the Clockwork Sun. London authorizes and encourages this use of the telescope. The Ministry has stamped permits for this particular usage up to the next century, the bursar informs you. I mean, I must. The sun's rays shine from Albion's farthest corner in London in all its glory. Gold as bright as a king's hoard burnishes the empire in radiance. The sun never dims. You draw away, dazzled. Curious. Very curious. Alright, so I need a bunch of ministry-stamped permits to make that work. And what about Rochester Club? A cozy country house bolted onto the side of the society's glass houses and overgrown lawns. This is a meeting place of the infamous Rochester Racing Club. Brandy glasses gleam on the shelves. Polished brass fixtures abound. A fire roars in the hearth. Members sit in comfortable armchairs comparing war stories. Parts salvaged from broken trains adorn the walls. Inquire into joining the Rochester Club. You are, after all, a captain of the skies. The dismal debutante curls her lips. The boisterous harridan cackles. The current Lord Rochester laughs gamely before abruptly stopping. Oh, you were serious, he coughs to conceal his embarrassment. Well, should you really wish to join our merry company, you have to prove yourself a proper racer. The careless deviless in her smoked velvet jacket appraises you carefully. You'll need to prove your mettle, my dear. Win one of our races and we'll be happy to admit you. Alright, fair enough. The thundering terror of the Sunless Skies, the Rochester races are the competitive sport of choice at the Royal Society. Oh. Curious. Lord Rochester claps you on the back. Good sport, that. The rules are simple. Get to the destination port and get back in here in 30 days. Then you can call yourself a true Rochester racer, savvy? He calls for order in the club room and gathers the other racers around. A quick toast is raised to your health and then it's on with the race. And our destination is the floating parliament, you say? Interesting. We'll continue. Portsmouth House? The workshops under the area are collectively known as Portsmouth House. The glass and brick factories are staffed by harassed inventors and engineers working constantly to produce the next advancement in adventuring equipment. Interesting. Here the Society constructs specialist equipment to further the Society's explorations, London's armaments, and the occasional Sky Captain's adventures. Talk to the engineers. Perhaps they'll be willing to furnish your locomotive with advanced equipment. The senior engineer marches across the smoggy workshop floor to meet you. Well, she barks. Hello. We're frightfully busy. We are examining the effects of vitrifaction on Murgatroyd's tea. Just had a breakthrough. There's a gentle explosion behind her, followed by a tinkle of shattering glass. Sorry, mustache, do visit the arsenal if you're looking for something special. Okay, Portsmouth Arsenal, you can trade in cargo items for unique equipment. Interesting. Visit the inscribed tinkerer, the most famous or notorious engineer associated with the Royal Society. The inscribed tinkerer likes her workbench tidy and her tea as strong as the devil's opinions. She believes in iteration of technology of society of people, and her inventions are intended to mitigate specific dangers and obstacles of the high wilderness. Her tea-stained notebook bulges with blueprints, and her skin is covered in inky treatments of the correspondence. She raises an eyebrow as you enter her office. Thank God I was in need of a break. The inscribed tinkerer can provide truly exceptional equipment from her shop, if she likes you. Her request. If it's work you're after, Captain, I can be of assistance in that department. Oh. Curious. The inscribed tinkerer unlocks a drawer in her desk and produces a slim notebook. Black marks snake their way across the paper like veins in a well-muscled arm. The correspondence, Captain. The incandescent language, the Pentecostal tongues of the stars. She invites you to examine the broken sigils that score her skin, mirrored in her notebook. I've heard of a unique sigil I've not come across before. It's been cited by students in Trader's Wood, by an old friend in the mausoleum, and by my least favorite person in Pan. As a captain, you could get to those places, and confirm the sighting. I'd give you access to a few of my unique designs should you wish to help. Curious. Very curious. Tell me about this arsenal. Smoke and soot, glass and steel. Experimental modifications. What? The ring of hammers on metal, the swearing of engineers, the acrid scent of sweat. Here in the bowels of Portsmouth House, the scientists of the Royal Society work to produce experimental designs for daring captains. The engineers are, however, more interested in things they can use than their coin. You can convert goods to experimental modifications which can be exchanged for unique equipment. I see, he says. So yeah, we'll contribute a cage catch, why not? Experiments require subjects. The soot-speckled engineer beams beneath the soot. Ah, who's a good puppet then? Is it you? It is. She turns her head and shouts, Albert, fetch the stick. That's gonna end well. In a vision of the heaven, your intimate acquaintance with the vistas of the high wilderness will be invaluable. Of course, says the soot-speckled engineer. Yeah, I'll talk to the lads, this'll do a treat. Curious, though. Where do I spend this? Maybe it's in the bazaar? No. Requisitions? No. Where do I go? At the Portsmouth Arsenal, you can trade in cargo 8 for unique... Talk to the engineers. No, sorry. The Portsmouth Arsenal. Ah, there we are. Peruse the designs. Whatever the finest minds in Albion come up with. Acquire the monstrous chamber. Ooh, that's a bit more expensive than I can afford. The Rossetti cabins. Amniotic crew containment. Well, that could be a thing. The Mighty Pen defensive library system. A pneumatic library staffed by its own rat librarian, armed with many defensive works. Okay. The armoire of Mr. Gray. Mr. Gray, you say? Curious. Acquire the Prosperina Superior Mining and Smelting Array. Interesting. And Carmilla. An avaricious canning device. Curious, but I don't have enough actual, goods in order to get any of those upgrades, so we'll just leave off on that for now. Alright. This is interesting, because this was actually one of the stretch goals in the Kickstarter. Oh. Hopefully didn't hit anybody there. Worry about that later. I'm very curious to see what else we can do with the Royal Society, and I really kind of want to go through with that, little job to, help our patron. And the inscriptions in the sky sound interesting too, but more to the point. Getting a bunch of permits, coming back here, learning more about the stars. I could see myself doing that. But for now, thank you for your time. Note the like, comment, and subscribe buttons below. Use them responsibly. And I shall see you all soon. Bye-bye.